I would say the only con I had, and what worries me the most, especially coming with our criteria or clientele of students, is having a group of students who just want to move and work against sabotaging this and making the assignments as easy as they can. And again, this is from my English perspective, where I mentioned the other video, we get everybody. Whether you want an English class or not, you are in an English class in RPS 205. And there's a difference when it's an elective. If it's a graphic design or an art or a computer technology course, you take that course because you want to. You don't have to. In English, we're a catch-all. We get everybody. And we do have students, as a result, who just don't care. Right? Most of them do, but there's a handful of students who just do not care no matter what you do. And sometimes they can be disruptive to those who want to work and get things done and accomplish what we're set out to do. So that's really the only con I can see about this. I think giving students, and I think in actuality, giving students the ability to create a rubric on how they're graded would really help some of those students buy in. And remove some of the fear that is talked about with some students or some students have with, I can't write well if I write this down, or I can't use this software well. If I can't do that well, I'm going to fail. So why should I do it? And this is one thing I've talked with my students several times this year, and I will have to throughout the year as I introduce new ways of creating. It's okay if it's not perfect. It's okay if it's not as advanced as your classmates, but we're looking at effort. And effort I can only look at through what they do in the classroom. But if they have 3 days to work on something and I have to remind them consistently to be on task and not get things done, I can tell the effort is there. And effort is possible to grade. If you're doing a cover, let's say, of To Kill a Mockingbird, and you're handing in literally a white document with just the words To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee on it, you're not giving me much effort. At the same time, that student's ability to work is problematic. One thing that came up, not in this piece, but in the Bridging the Multimodal Gap, on the piece for this week, Multimodal Pedagogy and Multimodal Assessment, 257 through 59 and to end through 60, the author talks about how they had an idea on how to grade it. One of the things they put in there is labor. Like, there's a specific term on the scale in the grading contract for labor. And I think this is not a bad idea of making it a part of it. The only thing that would concern me is for those advanced students. The students, if we're creating it on Adobe Spark or Photoshop, or even just Google Slides, if a student's a master of those and they can work really, really fast and really, really well with it, and they can produce high quality work, do I need to hold them to a labor standard, or should I penalize them for not? And that comes up quite a bit with some of our classes, where students need to write an essay. Some students can knock it out in half an hour. Some need a class period or two. And I don't really feel comfortable assigning students a grade on that. At the same time, I always am. I kind of am doing that because a low effort work is going to show. But on the other hand, yeah, there should be a place for experimentation, and experimentation should be rewarded. Like this assignment here, do something that makes you uncomfortable. Having a video response is something that makes me a tiny bit uncomfortable. The stop motion makes me definitely uncomfortable because I'm just is it good? Is it too long? How's it working? I've never done it before. And that's something that's there, and that should be the ability to explore and test yourself and reach out for new ways of doing things should be looked at and rewarded. At the same time, just not sure how to strike that balance yet. How to strike that balance, especially when you have a class of so many students who are at so many different levels with their abilities. So that's the one thing I think, now that I think about it, could come along. It's just, I'd like to see it in practice. I'd like to see it in a class and see how it works, as opposed to just reading about it. So it's an idea.